Now over in Unreal Engine 4, I created a folder just called underscore imported. So I'm just going to right click and import the mesh sm underscore monkey.fbx. Now in this import static mesh um, structure, this is going to be minimized. You're going to have to click show advanced. So generate missing collision, you want that checked because if the collision doesn't import over, it'll import, a very simple, well, more advanced in the box, but a simple collision. So that's helpful for debugging, knowing that that didn't come across. Here, you're going to want to check combine meshes. So all the meshes are combined in one object that you can switch between with the LODs. You're going to want to click import mesh LODs, as well as change the static mesh LOD group. That's something you can do to calculate even more LODs. So if you don't have LODs in the first place, that's kind of an automatic system, depending on how large this object is. We're just going to leave this alone for now. Scroll down, number of LODs. We are going to change this to just 2, as well as let it compute the LOD screen size. Materials. So if you have a whole bunch of materials that are using or objects using m_monkey, you just want it to be do not create material. In this case, this is the first object, so just create material, import all. There's only one object to import. It's going to give you some errors, which is totally fine. And then if you look here, it actually imported across this blue material, and like I said, it's just the color. There's no roughness, no metallics, anything like that. So now I click to open up the static mesh here. You'll see at the top it says LOD auto, LOD 0. It shows how many triangles, vertices. It's actually also showing the current screen size as well as the approximate size. Now you can also see here number of collision primitives is 1. So if I come up here to my collisions and do simple collision, you'll see it doesn't look like the normal collision actually imported correctly. So that's something we will have to investigate in a moment here because there is some issues with that for some reason. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's any good way of importing collision over from Blender at the moment. I've tried multiple different ways, different naming schemes, different parenting options, and it just doesn't look like it's working. However, if you take a look and see at how simple this mesh is here that Unreal Engine generated already, I'd say it's well worth not creating your own meshes. The next thing to take a look at is if you look here, LOD 0 on LOD auto right now, which is what you'd see in the game engine or in the game. So if I zoom back just a tiny bit, you look and you see a lower level detail LOD 1, and a much lower amount of triangles. So that's how we know our LOD system is working. And if we come over here to LOD settings, we can actually see number of LODs 2, auto compute LOD distances, LOD group. So if we want to go up here to LOD group, this is where we can change it to say small prop. Yes, let's change these settings. Now actually just calculate automatic LODs, which is what you probably want to do in the first place for Game Engine. But this tutorial is just to show you how you can create a collision mesh and the LOD mesh. So now if I back up, see LOD 0, LOD 1, I almost don't notice the difference, but it's cut the vertices in half with no quality noticeable loss. And then LOD 2, half again, I don't even notice it. And up here is 3. So it's much recommended to just use Unreal Engine 4's tools, but this tutorial is just to show you how you can do that manually. If I were to import this into the scene here, it is fairly small. So let's just scale this all up by quite a bit. Hit play. If you look here, collision does work, although it's not our collision. It does serve its purpose, and once you come away from it, you can barely even see any detail change. So just to wrap up, in this video, we created a base mesh. We assigned it a material. We created a low poly version using the decimate modifier in Blender. Very simple action to do, just for the purposes of demonstrating how to export LODs, as well as how to create the custom FBX type LOD group with the empty in order to export out an LOD. And we created the collision box. So this information, it could largely be useless in the future. The main purpose for that is Unreal Engine 5 actually does not need LOD tools for static meshes. So it actually will just generate using the Nanimate system. It'll reduce the detail based on the screen size automatically. As well as setting this up is a little cumbersome, and Unreal Engine 4 does a great job of generating it anyways. But this is information that isn't readily available online that I thought I would share, and hopefully it helps somebody out. And if you do have success with using the collision mesh, do let us know if there's anything you did differently, because as of now, I don't have any use for it. It just automatically generates an Unreal Engine 4.